Hey everybody, my name is Josh, joshhallmusic.com. This is the Shavasana Kitty YouTube channel. And if you're just joining me, hey, welcome. If you've returned, that's even better. And if you've subscribed, thank you so much. So today's lesson is about interpretation, and it's called This Is How It's Written, but This Is How It Goes. And I want to share with you a piece of music that is common for beginning classical guitarists to play. This is a piece called Lagrima. It is by one of the greatest classical guitar composers, Francisco Tárrega. And this edition comes out of a book that looks like this. It is edited by a guy named Paul Henry, who is a phenomenal classical guitarist in his own right, and worth listening to. And so here is, like I said, a very common piece of music, and it's not really here to teach you how to play this, but instead I want to show you the difference between playing something as written and then playing something with artistic interpretation. And so this it's tempo marking up here. It says andante. And you can see that it's got tabs. So for those of you who don't read music, you can read the tab. And you can learn to play it, I suppose, from looking at this. But I'm just going to play it in a walking tempo without any interpretation outside of just trying to make my tone pretty. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. And that is up to the repeat. So I went from here all the way to this repeat, and I just tried to play really even. It's actually very difficult for me to do that because that's not how I play this piece. That would be how I started learning it. You go through, you play everything really even, and you start to hear, how does this really go? What does Lagrima mean anyway? And what is this all about? And it's tears. So he wrote this, I believe, for a teacher that had passed, and he was sad. So you've got this beautiful piece of music, and how do you bring out that emotional quality? And that is something that musicians tend to do right from the start. Is they'll learn a piece and then they'll start adding the phrasing, they'll start adding the dynamics, start adding the tone and the color and the way, the shape of a line. And so I'll play the opening bit for you, how I tend to play it. And you may totally disagree with this interpretation of the music, but this is how I approach it. It's like this. I do. And that would be how I would play that opening bit. I try to give some space to some of the lines. I try to add some phrasing and dynamics to it so that it doesn't just stay like, I guess I'd call it a sewing machine, kind of just like that. It can be played that way, and people can love it that way. It's just not the way I want to play it when I play music. So then here comes the big question. When do you get to have permission to interpret music your own way? And I would say that you have that permission right now. As an artist, as someone learning to play an instrument, if you feel inclined to play something a certain way, I think you probably should go for it. There will be people who will disagree with you. There will be critics who disagree with you. There may be a teacher that you have that disagrees with you. And they may get very upset and say, no, it goes like this. This is how you should play it. When I'm learning a new piece of music, I listen to a lot of different guitarists play it, especially classical guitar music. Andre Segovia will play it differently than John Williams, who will play it differently than Sharon Isbin, who will play it differently than anyone, Julian Bream, or whoever you choose to listen to. A lot of really great guitarists out there. And you may decide that you like the way a particular guitar player approaches it, and then you mimic that as best as you can. And then you end up adding your own flavor to it. And the more you play, the more that flavor comes in, because you become older and wiser, your emotions are deeper, and you can play something in a way that is different. I know that I play these pieces differently now that, I'm almost 50. I have 2 adult children. I've been married, for 26 years. Like, I have a different view of life than I did when I was a 25-year-old. And it comes through in the playing. And so when you play, you'll do the same thing, hopefully. And that you won't worry so much about, am I playing it metronomically correct? But instead, am I making music? All right. If you thought this was helpful, useful in some way, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my website, joshhallmusic.com. Maybe sign up for my newsletter. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.